good evening and welcome to Carabao Cup Live here in LFS for a round 3 match between Liverpool and West Ham United. Also this evening, Arsenal taking on Bolton after we saw 13 teams book their place into the fourth round over the last week or so. Tonight, as I said, we want two more games for you as Arsenal take on Bolton at the Emirates and Liverpool take on West Ham, a side they beat in the quarter-finals last season en route to lifting their 10th Carabao Cup title. Liverpool, of course, the holders of the competition, won it back in February with all those kids and Virgil van Dijk's headed goal in extra time to secure their 10th title in this competition. They're the most decorated club in this competition and by far they're looking for another. Arne Slot takes charge of his first Carabao Cup game this evening and West Ham the opponents at Anfield. A wet and rainy Anfield. Already this week, as you can see, we've got some big results as Chelsea, Manchester City, Leicester, Aston Villa all booked their place into the fourth round. All the Premier League sides progressing. At least, actually, 10 of the 13 sides that have already progressed are from the Premier League. So a lot of all Premier League ties surely to expect. The fourth round draw is a bit later on this evening as well, so do keep tuned for that. But to this game tonight then, and to our two teams that we watched tonight. Two sides under new management, of course, when they met here in the quarterfinals last year in December. Two different managers in charge. Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool, now replaced by Arne Slot. And of course David Moyes at West Ham, now replaced by Julian Lopetegui. Let's have a look and see how they line up this evening. Caoimhín Kelleher continues in goal after his clean sheet against Bournemouth after Alisson remained injured. He's in tonight. And a changed back four, completely changed back four for Liverpool as Connor Bradley, Joe Gomez, Gerald Kwanzaa and Kostas Tsimikas make up the defenders. Wataru Endo and Curtis Jones are in defensive midfield. Cody Gakpo through the middle. Jota off the left. Federico Chiesa makes his first start for Liverpool. He's off the right. And Darwin Núñez, who scored a cracker against Bournemouth at the weekend, he starts up front. A strong Liverpool bench, as you can see, with Van Dijk, Robertson, Alexander-Arnold, McAllister, Szoboszlai, Tyler Morton, Luis Diaz and Mo Salah with Jarosz as well, the sub-goalkeeper. For West Ham United, Fabianski starts in goal. Sofal, Todibo, Kilman and Cresswell make the back four. Alvarez and Soler are in midfield with Thomas Souček in a more advanced role. Jared Bowen, the captain, is off the right. Crysencio Somerville off the left. And Danny Ings, the former Liverpool striker, starts up front for the opponents tonight. As You'll Never Walk Alone rings around Anfield, we get ready to watch the champions of this competition defend their title. Kick-off at Anfield is next. Good evening and welcome to Carabao Cup Live with me, Kevin Ferris, this evening here on LFS. Great to have you with us for this one. As I said, already 13 of our 16 teams for the next round already confirmed. 2 playing tonight, but of course that postponement between Wimbledon and Newcastle that was meant to play on Tuesday night last night due to a flooded pitch has now been rescheduled to next Tuesday night at St James's Park. So that game has been rescheduled. So in the draw this evening, they will be both put into that draw, of course, for the draw. The draw is back to normal. It's a straight open draw. No conditions this time round as there was for this round of the competition. Liverpool kicking down the Anfield Road end. West Ham will attack the Kop in the first half. West Ham in their away strip of white shirts and claret shorts. Red Liverpool in all red, of course. As we get underway then for this Carabao Cup tie, Liverpool's defence of their 10th Carabao Cup title starts this evening. And a team, as I said, they faced in the quarter-finals last season are their opponents. 5-1 winners Liverpool were when they met here just before Christmas last year. Liverpool will be hoping that the same goes, that result is repeated tonight and they can cruise into the fourth round. As that's nice working from Jota. Wins the ball back early, but West Ham have bodies back, although Connor Bradley stole it back down the right-hand side. Bradley wins Liverpool an early corner. That's fabulous from Liverpool. Intense pace early doors there. It's already got them going. And Edson Alvarez is already feeling some pain. Let's say he get hit in a delicate area, shall we say. I've said that a lot more often recently. Anyway, Kostas Tsimikas to take this corner for Liverpool inside the first minutes at Anfield. Of course, Tsimikas actually took the corner that won Liverpool the Carabao Cup last season. The flick onto the front post, and it's headed behind for a goal kick. Goodness me, lots of bodies crowding the West Ham goalkeeper. I think it might have been Gakpo that strayed off to the front post and flicked it on. It might have come off Cresswell's head and then bounced out off two West Ham bodies there, I think. Ends up going out for a goal kick. That seems a bit strange. Probably should have been another corner, but nonetheless, goal kick it is for Hammers. Goal at the London Stadium. London Stadium? That's West Ham's ground. It's in London at the Emirates Stadium. And Arsenal have taken the lead. A 16-year-old in goal for Arsenal tonight. After their first three goalkeepers all either injured or cup-tied this evening. And Arsenal have taken the lead there this evening. It is Arsenal 1, Bolton Wanderers 0. Declan Rice scored that goal to give the Gunners the lead. So 1-0 to Arsenal. Off, of course, that draw away at Manchester City at the weekends. West Ham coming off a big defeat at home. This is actually their first foray out of London this season, of course, for West Ham. All of their Premier League games have been in the capital. Of course, their 3 home games and their 2 away games have both been in London, away at Crystal Palace and away at Fulham. So they have certainly not been out of London as of yet. This is their first, as I mentioned, tonight. Hasn't gone well so far for West Ham to start the season, league-wise. Lost all 3 of their home games. Julian Lopetegui became the first manager in West Ham's history to lose his first 3 home games in charge of the club. In their long history, of course, as Gomez knocks forward for Liverpool. One for Chiesa to chase, but Cresswell had the best of him. Nunez up to win the header. Bradley back to Endo. Chests it down, finds Nunez. Nice combination play from Liverpool down this side. Although, as I say, that Bradley hits Endo in the face, but well won back by Connor Bradley. So Liverpool look to get firm control of this game early on. Here's Tsimikas. Of course, the new era for Liverpool under Arne Slot certainly hasn't been a disappointing start. 5 wins out of their first 6 games in charge. Of course, losing their only game so far here against Nottingham Forest around a week and a half ago, but the other 5 games all ending in wins. Liverpool keeping clean sheets in all of their Premier League games they've won this season. Here's Gakpo. Nice Tsimikas. Cuts it back for Curtis Jones. Jones back across to Gomez, and a bit of space to find Jarell Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa goes out wide to Chiesa. Chiesa looks to feint it into the box, but no one on the same path, and West Ham can recover there with Max Kilman. As that's well chased back. Here's Jota for Liverpool. Has to go back to Gomez. And Jones. Good high press from Liverpool early on. Here's Gakpo. Gomez as West Ham deep in their own half. Playing a 4-4-2 out of possession. Well, the Hammers, of course, as I said, beaten by Chelsea at the weekend. Liverpool won here against Bournemouth at the weekend. So very contrasting results for these two clubs in the most recent Premier League weekend. And Liverpool were top of the league for at least a while at the weekend after they'd won against Bournemouth before City and Arsenal played. Here's Gakpo. Cody Gakpo trying to tick on his man, but Bowen tracked back and won the ball back for West Ham. Sofal. Bowen under pressure. Closed down by Curtis Jones. Liverpool have bodies forward, but Curtis Jones has to ramble to keep the ball, but then loses out to Bowen. And Jones committed to try and win it back. Sofal helps out, although Darwin Nunez has won it back now. That's what I mean about that high press from Liverpool. As soon as West Ham try and play out, Liverpool's real intense high press early on is catching them in possession time and time again. About 4 times in the first 5 minutes it's happened. West Ham are trying to be play out, and Liverpool just stealing the ball away as Bowen's pushed back into his own defensive third. Plays it off to Kilman. A bit of space for Cresswell here to break down the left for West Ham. Of course, a Liverpool fan himself, Aaron Cresswell, the West Ham left back. Here's Sofal. Back to Jean-Claire Todibo. Now Kilman. Out to the left-hand side. Ball played towards Somerville, but Kwanzaa got the cover on that one. And Endo plays it into Jones. Liverpool moving the ball quickly, keeping West Ham at bay for the moment. Of course, there are a few big, interesting links, as I said. Aaron Cresswell, Liverpool fan. Danny Ings used to play for Liverpool, of course, the West Ham number 18. And Crescencio Somerville also has his little link with Liverpool because he obviously scored the winner for Leeds here at Anfield a few seasons ago. As Bradley looked to cross it in, Somerville got back and got it away. Sofal. And now Kilman clears away. Endo flicks it up into the air. Chiesa goes to chase, but Cresswell gets it back to Kilman. Now back to Cresswell. Infield to Soucek. Todibo. Back to Fabianski. Now Kilman. Well, as I said, we've not had many Premier League sides leave the competition so far. Not many shocks, albeit tonight at least one Premier League team will be knocked out, of course. That's an all Premier League tie. That goes without saying, but the other side of Merseyside was knocked out at this stage. Everton knocked out on penalties last week by Southampton. Of course, at that point, Everton and Southampton were the only 2 sides in the Premier League to pick up a point in the season at the point they played last week. But of course, both got a draw at the weekends, and Southampton through to the next round. Of course, the draw for the 4th round is a bit later on this evening, just after 10 o'clock, after this game concludes here at Anfield. Of course, the draw will be done, and to find out who will play who in the 4th round. Of course, a lot of big sides still in: Manchester City, Manchester United, Chelsea. And we'll see what Arsenal do this evening, currently winning 1-0. Arsenal. Liverpool, of course, we'll see if they go through. Amongst them, Tottenham with their late winner last week as well. So there have been some storylines so far in the competition since the Premier League teams entered at the second stage, of course. Here's Gakpo. Tsimikas on the overlap, puts the cross in, and Todibo puts it behind for the corner. Good defending by West Ham, but good combination between Gakpo and Tsimikas there. Maybe a slice of luck from Joe Gomez's pass, but Tsimikas linking up well with Gakpo and putting in that cross that gets Liverpool the corner. Let's see what Liverpool can do here from the left-hand side. Tsimikas will deliver again. Left-footed outswinger incoming. Fizz to the deep into the box, but Cresswell there to clear away. And Jones will just recycle it back to Bradley. Chiesa. Now Jarell Kwanzaa. Endo. Now Gomez to Curtis Jones. Out wide it goes to Tsimikas. Back infield to Gakpo. Now to Jones. And Gomez across to Kwanzaa. 10 minutes gone so far at Anfield. Liverpool 0, West Ham 0. Liverpool, as you would expect, controlling the majority of the possession and the majority of the passing so far, but that long ball was just a bit ahead of Cody Gakpo that time, and West Ham get the goal kick. Now, one thing Liverpool know so far under Arne Slot was the game that they lost came against the side who really played that low block, that 11 men behind the ball kind of situation. And I expect West Ham to kind of lean in on that a bit this evening, but also at the same time they have a lot of firepower up the other end that can massively threaten you. The likes of Jared Bowen and Somerville and of course Danny Ings, of course, a seasoned striker. So there are options in the West Ham team not only to defend Liverpool but also to hurt them at the other end. As West Ham get a free kick there, foul on Soler. I have to say, if Liverpool do come into any problems, there's no questioning that the bench is strong enough to make a difference. A vast majority of their first teamers on the bench this evening: Diaz, Szoboszlai, Virgil van Dijk, Robertson, Alexander-Arnold, Salah. There are lots of strength and depth on the bench for Liverpool if they need them this evening, as they have to defend this free kick. Aaron Cresswell ready to take on the left-hand side. Left-footed delivery into the box it comes, and up out of the way by Endo. Fully cleared away by Liverpool though, as Bowen whips back in. Up above the head of Bradley, but Kwanzaa clears away. Cresswell tries to put it back on Liverpool, but Endo again clears, and now Cresswell has to turn back and give it back to Fabianski, who will kick long, trying to find Somerville out in the left flank. Lovely touch by Somerville, and Bradley tried to chase back in, and Endo nips in there, but deemed to have given away a free fouled Somerville, and free kick goes West Ham's way. Wonderful touch by Somerville initially from the clearance by Fabianski, and then steps in past Bradley, and then Endo tries to get him, but he does catch the man. So it is a free kick to West Ham. Cresswell will get another chance at delivering against the Liverpool defence. But further out this time. Cresswell again with a similar delivery, and across it comes, and wide it goes by Todibo. Goodness me, really good cross by Cresswell. Good delivery. And Tsimikas just loses his man at the back post to concede again, and Todibo just gets a diving header at it. He just curls it well wide, but that was a threat. Tsimikas now trying to get Liverpool forward offensively. He's charged down by his opponent, and Todibo. And now Bowen steps in field, and the shot straight at Caoimhín Kelleher. Caoimhín, of course, who's certainly probably been Liverpool's mainstay in this competition over the last few years. Of course, won it with them in 2022, scored the winning penalty ultimately for Liverpool in the 2022 Carabao Cup final against Chelsea, and then of course got that long run last season in the competition. Made some big saves in the final back in February of this year. In this year. Ultimately, a lot of the youngsters winning the competition for Liverpool. Obviously, Virgil van Dijk scoring the winning header, but an absolute remarkable performance that was back in February from Liverpool. Here's Gakpo. Got many options in front of him. Has to go back to Jones. Liverpool need to be a bit more intricate tonight, you feel. It's all about trying to find a way rather than have a free-flowing night. West Ham will defend, and will defend solidly. But West Ham's record is certainly one to be avoided if you are of a West Ham persuasion, or of a non-Liverpool persuasion, let's say. They've only won once at Anfield since 1963, and that came back in 2015. And Liverpool are on a very strong winning run here since that point. Won all of their home games against West Ham since that time. That's a good challenge by Jota. Now Jones darts it out to Gakpo on the left here. Tsimikas on the underlap. Gakpo cuts it back. Curtis Jones will chip it in, but too far ahead of Bradley. Cleared away, but Endo picks it back up. Bradley again trying to battle, but West Ham intercepting well. Now Somerville just gets pipped away, although West Ham keep the ball, and Kwanzaa just puts his body in the way, blocks it from going past him. Throw into West Ham. Jarrell Kwanzaa doing well there in that moment for Liverpool defensively. West Ham take the throw in. To Debo. Kilman. Misplaced pass in the middle, but it's latched upon as West Ham win it back. And Darwin Núñez again pressing. Almost getting a bit of joy as well. The second time, and West Ham forced to clear it for Kelleher to pick up for Liverpool. You just see that intense press. West Ham maybe delaying on the ball a bit too much, and it's enticing Liverpool to press them. And more often than not so far, Liverpool have come out successful in those challenges and winning those battles in these moments, albeit not able to make very much in the final third from those moments. That's good play down the left. Jota plays it on to Gakpo. Gakpo feeds it across to Tsimikas, who looks to cut it back, and West Ham scrambling to get it away. And now Bowen breaks forward here, end to end early on, as Jones tries to get in his face, but Bowen breezes past the Liverpool midfielder. Spins it out to Somerville. Somerville with a bit of space here. Bradley tries to break in, and it's fallen all the way through. Danny Ings. But I think he's offside. He is. We just see this again. Jared Bowen breaks away from Curtis Jones, and there's just a complete imbalance in Liverpool's defence as Somerville given the space down the left, and the block by Bradley just blasts its way through to Danny Ings, and the strike goes through and into the net, but Ings on an offside position in the build-up to that, and no goal. But a warning sign for Liverpool that West Ham can be threatening and can be very potent on the counter. As a crowd get behind their team here at Anfield. Tsimikas to Kwanzaa. Now to Chiesa, who steps in. Across to Endo. Now Jones. Not much space as Endo again plays it to Gomez. Gomez tries to go for that outside ball to Gakpo, but again intercepted as Endo picks it back up. Now finds Gakpo again. That was good from Liverpool, although they played the risky pass. Ultimately, they lost it, but won it back pretty quickly as Gakpo has just gone offside from Jota's pass. Not often you see that. It was a stat that I picked up from the weekend's game. Liverpool went the whole game at the weekend without being called offside once. And considering Darwin Núñez started that game at the weekend, that's a pretty big statistic. Still 1-0 in that other game this evening we're watching. Arsenal taking on Bolton at the Emirates. It is Arsenal 1, Bolton 0. Declan Rice the scorer in that one. As Fabianski takes the kick long from the free kick. Gomez heads it out for a West Ham throw. Throw in down the right hand side by Sofal. Back to Debo. Now Kilman, who will spin it back out wide. Looking for Sofal on the overlap. Takes it down. Cuts it back across the box. And Bradley defends it well, heading it behind for a corner. Just see it again. What a ball by Max Kilman. Spun out to Sofal. Sofal on the cutback. And Bradley just has to deal with the situation. Doesn't know what's around him and puts it behind for a West Ham corner. West Ham had a good bit of spell here in the last few minutes. Their first corner of the game. Left hand side. Not a height there that can threaten the Liverpool defence. Cresswell ready to take this. Long ball into the box it goes. It's bouncing around. Liverpool still can't get it clear. And it's into their own net by Jarell Quansah. And West Ham United take the lead. They have been threatening, and now they have taken the lead. Calamitous defending from Liverpool from that set piece, and West Ham find themselves in front. It's not great defending at all. 2 go with 1. West Ham just win the first header, and the ball bounces around the edge of the 6-yard box. And ultimately, unfortunately, it takes a wicked deflection as Endo tries to clear off Jarell Quansah, and there was very little the Liverpool defender could do about that. But West Ham, ultimately, yeah, there's not really much that can be done about that, to be honest. But it is, albeit fortunate for West Ham, a goal's a goal. 1-0. There we are. Liverpool got lucky a few moments ago. They got lucky a few moments ago when Danny Ings' shot was off target, or was offside, sorry. Ultimately, in the end, Liverpool have looked a bit frail from set pieces so far. Both of the West Ham free kicks haven't really gone Liverpool's way. In terms of defensively, they haven't been the most convincing. And then from that corner, West Ham's first of the night, they concede with very lacking defending as Bradley breaks forward for Liverpool, trying to respond quickly. And gets fouled there by Soler. Free kick to Liverpool, wide on the right-hand side. We have another goal at the Emirates. Looks like it might be an easy night for Arsenal in the end. Ethan Nwaneri has given them a 2-goal lead at the second score for Arsenal tonight. It is Arsenal 2, Bolton 0 at the Emirates. West Ham did score here last season in the quarter-finals of the Carabao Cup and also in the league game, but Liverpool coming out victorious in both of those. Let's see how Liverpool attack this set piece. Delivery with the right foot, and Quansah trying to make up for his error at the other ends by trying to put it into the right net this time, but he just heads it over the bar for a goal kick. Also this evening, by the way, there is Europa League action. I forgot to mention Manchester United taking on Twente, the Dutch side, at Old Trafford this evening. It is 0-0. That game kicked off at 8 o'clock this evening, so around about 25 minutes gone in that one, and it is still 0-0 between Manchester United and Twente. Strong Manchester United side for that one as well. Let's see how they do this evening as the new Europa League gets underway tonight and tomorrow night. Here's Jota. Nunez, Jota. Nice link up as Gakpo breaks down the left. The flag stays down for now. Cody Gakpo cuts it across. Chiesa. Bobbling effort, and Jota knocks it in. Liverpool are level, and Diogo Jota has them on terms. Chiesa had a massive part to play in that one. Gakpo with a cross, Chiesa with a bouncing effort, and popping up there in the box was Diogo Jota. Wonderful combination play down the left-hand side. Nunez and Jota, and back to Jota, who played it into Gakpo. Gakpo crossed it to Chiesa, who, as he strikes it, goes off balance. It bobbles up into the air. And Diogo Jota, no problems of offside on this. And Jota popping up in front of Kilman, in front of Fabianski, to knock it in for Liverpool's equaliser. Liverpool 1, West Ham United 1. Of course, Jota scored Liverpool's first goal of the season away at Ipswich. It's his only goal so far, and he's just added a second to his tally for the season. And now Jota has his name sung around Anfield, of course, as is typical. As is expected, as they play over the top again. Liverpool want to get into the lead here now. Here's Gakpo. Spins away from Sofal, goes down at the edge of the box. Still alive for Nunez. Jota. Out wide to Bradley. Liverpool starting to get a bit of rhythm about their game now. Enzo to Gomez as the boos ring around Anfield for maybe a want of a penalty there. The referee thought about it, Andy Madley, but in the end decided not to. Here's Gakpo. Tsimikas just lost out in his battle there as he tries to get back at Bowen. Jones does, but ultimately deemed to have given away a free kick, and a foul goes against Liverpool this time. See this again. Gakpo spins away from Sofal, and then Bowen just comes, kind of shoulder charges him in as it comes into the box. I think the foul's just outside the box, but I think the referee said no penalty because he wasn't sure whether it was in the box or not, and the advantage was on, so I think that was fair refereeing, to be honest, from Andy Madley. It certainly got Anfield rocking so far, that equaliser. But of course that really kind of puts water on the fire of West Ham, really. It dampens the early kind of positivities for the visitors, considering they came close to scoring and then they did score. But their lead only lasted 3.5 minutes or so, so it wasn't really much of an advantage in a sense anymore, because we're back to square one, as it's kind of, from West Ham's point of view, we have to go again and try and push Liverpool back, try and get something again. But of course, if any West Ham team were to read the history, the last time Liverpool failed to score against West Ham at Anfield was in an FA Cup tie back in January of 2016. So it's been almost 9 years since Liverpool failed to score against West Ham at Anfield. I was actually in a 2-game streak where they'd failed to score in that 3-0 defeat earlier in that season against West Ham. Since then, they have scored at least 1 goal in all of their last 8 Premier League meetings between the two sides. That's 9 in total, of course, including the quarter-final of the Carabao Cup last season. It's Jones, Tsimikas, now Jota, Gakpo again. Seems like Jota's playing a bit off the left, kind of arrowed to the left, but also a bit more centrally for Liverpool, just behind the striker at times. Here's Bradley, down the right, lots of bodies in the middle. Bradley with a cross all the way through. Gakpo at the back post, a deflection, carries it wide. Big chance for Cody Gakpo to see this again. Good break down the right hand side. Bradley crosses it into the box. As it bounces, it goes all the way through, and then Gakpo tries to find it to the far corner. Took a deflection, I think, off Sofal, and ultimately behind for a Liverpool corner. Very close to taking the lead there, Liverpool, all of a sudden. So we're about to hit the half-hour mark at Anfield. Liverpool 1, West Ham 1. Tsimikas with the delivery. Jota was the target, but Kilman headed away. Jones picks it back up. Bradley now fires it forward over the top, but just too much pace on that one from Bradley. Goes behind for a goal kick. Of course, Conor Bradley burst onto the scene last season at Anfield, of course, with Alexander-Arnold's injury at one point last season. Absolutely blasted his way at right back and deputised almost impeccably for Trent Alexander-Arnold, who, of course, would have very easily been missed by Liverpool. Of course, scored a goal and got 2 assists in a 4-1 win over Chelsea earlier in the year, at the end of January. Did Conor Bradley. An incredible result, an incredible game for him. And considering just 3 days earlier he had got his 2 assists, his first Anfield assists. 4 assists and a goal at Anfield in a space of 3 days at the end of January was an absolute cracker of a week for Conor Bradley. So Liverpool get the free kick here in the final third. It's round about 29 yards out. It's quite a distance. Tsimikas and Chiesa are over it for Liverpool. Tsimikas probably more likely to cross it, and he will deliver it into the box, and the header, I think off Endo ultimately, the last header, goes behind for a goal kick to West Ham. Liverpool calling for a penalty, or for a corner, sorry, but nothing in that. And just seeing the replay of both goals so far in the game. Ultimately, Liverpool will not be particularly happy with the way they defended for the West Ham goal, of course, but getting back on terms pretty quickly certainly eradicates that. Ultimately, Endo trying to battle there, lost out to Alvarez. He played it across the middle. Kwanzaa there to take it ahead of Bowen. Now Gomez. Of course, it's rare that, albeit from a small sample size, that Arne Slot has made changes this evening. Of course, quite a lot of changes from the weekend's win over Bournemouth. Darwin Núñez started that game. Caoimhín Kelleher started that game. If I'm not mistaken, Kostas Tsimikas started that game. He didn't, actually. Andrew Robertson started that game, apologies. But 2 of Liverpool's starting 11 this evening started at the weekends. 9 of them did not, of course. Although a few of them did make an appearance from the bench, but obviously big changes for Liverpool tonight. And to be honest, you know, looking at the Liverpool team, you wouldn't say that there are massive weaknesses in this side, in terms of kind of the players out on that field. Maybe the midfield is maybe slightly on the less physical side, not as physical, between Endo and Jones, and maybe the defence could be a bit beefed up a bit more, but for a cup game at home, it's a pretty strong side as Liverpool win it back again and try and blast away on the counter, but ultimately Chiesa dispossessed there in the end, and now West Ham want to return the favour, but Joe Gomez gets in front of Bowen and gets it back to Kelleher, who does return it back to Gomez again. Tsimikas, as both Gakpo and Núñez left that one, Todibo picks up. Alvarez, now Bowen, again closely marked. Tsimikas won the ball. Núñez with beautiful skill to break away as Chiesa felt he was taken out, and ultimately it took the referee a couple of seconds, but he has now given Liverpool the free kick for the foul on Chiesa. I have to say, Darwin Núñez with a lovely kind of step over in there somewhere. Beautiful flick. Of course, it's not been the kind of easy ride for Darwin Núñez over the last 2 years at Anfield. It's been a bumpy road for him. He's had some massive highs, but also some big lows as well. Scored an absolute screamer at the weekend. A wonderful goal for Liverpool. But that's kind of been the similar kind of synopsis of Darwin Núñez's time at Anfield so far, or at Liverpool so far, is kind of he always scores the big goals. He scores a wonderful goal, a wonder goal every now and again, but he's not there for the day in day out finishes of a striker, the tap ins, the ones you should think he should score. You would say it's the complete opposite for Darwin Núñez. They're the ones he's expected to, kind of more likely to miss. are the easier opportunities, but he takes the hardest ones massively well. I mean, the game against Newcastle last season at St James's Park comes to mind, down to 10, and he takes 2 wonderful strikes to turn the game around for Liverpool from losing to winning late on in that game. And I think that kind of sums up Darwin Núñez, really. When it's needed that he scores, he scores. And when it's like a really quality goal that is less likely for him to score, he does score. Whereas the more tap-in or the more kind of poacher finishes, shall we say, are less likely for him to find the net. But look, not every striker is going to take all of their chances. And there's no shortage of attacking options for Liverpool. 6 forwards, senior forwards in the Liverpool team. Of course, 4 of them playing tonight. Jota, Gakpo, Núñez and Chiesa. Of course, both Salah and Diaz are on the bench this evening. Lots of quality in Liverpool's attacking kind of market, shall we say. Here's Tsimikas. Liverpool again continuing to dominate the ball. Liverpool have had all the chances since West Ham scored. West Ham haven't had a shot since they took the lead. Bradley. Gets it back to Quansah. Right, Gomez. Steps in the midfield. Tsimikas loses out on a battle. Gomez tries to step in, but Ings there to win the throw-in for West Ham off Kostas Tsimikas. Just a reminder for you, it is Arsenal 2, Bolton 0 at half-time, and an update from Old Trafford as well in the Europa League. It is Manchester United 1, Twente 0. Christian Eriksen has given Manchester United the lead. Gomez. Quansah. Down to Bradley. Liverpool just passing it around, taking their time, not in a massive hurry at the moment. Jota on the turn, finding Jones. Now Jota again. Here comes Gakpo. This is good play. Gakpo into Chiesa's path. Sorry. Chiesa takes it round his man. Looks to go himself. Cuts it across and it's headed away and cleared away by Kilman. I think the flag was up anyway. It was against Chiesa on the return, I believe. Let's just see it again. I mean, yeah, did a very good moment there from Chiesa. Already has his first Liverpool assist. And it only took him about 30-40 seconds at the weekend to come on and have his first Liverpool shot here at Anfield. It's a good opportunity, but well gathered by the Bournemouth keeper at the weekend, ultimately. Quansah just got a bit pushed there. Gives away the corner to West Ham. 5 minutes of the first half to go, and let's see what happens here for West Ham. Their last corner ended up in the back of the Liverpool nets. Uncharacteristically and in an unorthodox way, but it did. Let's see what they can do from this one. Cresswell to take again, left-hand side. Lots of players surround the penalty area again. Let's see. Cresswell to deliver. Up in the air from Alvarez, but Bowen with a second shot, but blocked by Endo. So foul. Ultimately foul there by Darwin Núñez. Free kick to West Ham. So another set piece for Liverpool to defend. I have to say, there has been a certain number of set pieces that West Ham have targeted Liverpool so far. Cresswell's been obviously at the height of all of them as he's ready to take this free kick. Be an in-swinger from the right-hand side, so towards the Liverpool goalkeeper. Liverpool have their defensive line on the penalty spot. Cresswell delivers, flicked on. Bradley gets back at the back post to defend it and clear it away as Jota sees it out for a Liverpool throw. That's good defending by Liverpool that time, and credit to Conor Bradley, who was kind of backtracking as he tried to get up and head the ball, and referee just having a bit of a laugh with Conor Bradley, who was getting back to his feet like an old man with arthritis there as he kind of fell backwards against Bowen. Kind of maybe slightly tweaked his back of some sort, but he's okay to continue. It's fine, Conor Bradley, as he takes this throw in. Long throw down the line. Jota looking for the flick on, but West Ham there to pick up the second ball. To Debo. Back to Fabianski. Now Kilman. To Cresswell. Kilman. Back to Fabianski. All the way back to Debo on his own kind of goal, his own byline there, and Gakpo tried to close it down, but West Ham will get the throw. West Ham not afraid to play from the back, as we've seen already this evening. Multiple occasions Liverpool have closed that down. Long throw by Sofal, flick on by Soucek, and ultimately Jarrell Kwanzaa there to mop up for Liverpool at the back. As Kelleher pops it up long. Jota pushed away from the ball, and to Debo looking to clear as Somerville tracks back. And now Cresswell ready to get it away as Chiesa was pouncing, but a bit too loose that from West Ham as Alvarez knocks it out for a Liverpool throw. Jones. Gomez. Now to Tsimikas. Around 90 seconds of the first half to go. Liverpool 1, West Ham 1. Chiesa. Up against Cresswell. And Somerville, who's back as well. Chiesa not much room to manoeuvre. Has to go back to Kwanzaa as Liverpool have everyone but their two centre-backs pushing towards the West Ham defence as Chiesa's on the ball again. Looking to cross it. And Kilman's got up for the header. Half cleared as Somerville has to try and get it away, and Chiesa will let it run for a Liverpool throw. The new signing of the summer, as I said, making his first start tonight, Federico Chiesa, certainly got the Liverpool fans smiling with his early first half performance. Gomez to Tsimikas to find Gakpo, who felt he was fouled. It looked like he was fouled there. Referee saw nothing wrong as Liverpool do get the ball back though from a loose West Ham pass. As Kwanzaa plays it out to Chiesa. Chiesa down the right hand side. Chiesa will shoot, and Chiesa will hit wide. Certainly looked a bright spark, Federico Chiesa this evening so far. Got the most accurate of shots in the end, but certainly worth the hit. Just one additional minute at the end of the first half then here at Anfield. Liverpool 1, West Ham 1. As Fabianski goes long. Gomez wins the first header. Flicked over the top by Chiesa, but goes straight back to Fabianski. Fabianski just goes long again. A couple of seconds to go in the half. Jones. Jota tried to force it through the middle, but West Ham closed that down. And Bowen's free in this right-hand side for West Ham. Looks to cross it to Somerville. And Kwanzaa got a vital touch in there. And ultimately, Liverpool defend that situation as the half-time whistle goes. West Ham could have had a chance just before the end of the half to retake the lead, but it is at the half-time whistle. It is Liverpool 1, West Ham United 1. A half where Liverpool have been dominant in possession, but so far only one shot on target apiece in this first half. Half-time, Liverpool 1, West Ham 1. Analysis and look back at all of the third round ties to come at half-time. Do stay with us. Welcome back to Carabao Cup Live. Half-time at Anfield. It is Liverpool 1, West Ham United 1. Also this evening, Arsenal taking on Bolton at the Emirates. It is currently Arsenal 2, Bolton Wanderers 0. Of course, they kicked off 15 minutes before our game this evening at Anfield, so they will just be getting back to the second half any moment now. Of course, as I mentioned in my opener this evening, 13 tie results already have come through from this third round of the Carabao Cup from our 16 total ties. Let's have a look back at last week's action. Of course, this is, as you can see on the screen, this week's action. But let's have a look and see what happened last week in the Carabao Cup, because, of course, we were on Champions League duty last week. So let's have a look. Those were all the games. 9 ties were played last week over the Tuesday and Wednesday night of last week, starting with Stoke against Fleetwood, which was, of course, a third round tie starting last week. It went to penalties before Stoke progressing. Stoke took the lead in that one, a goalless first half at the Stoke City Stadium. In that one, Michael Rose gave Stoke the lead before Fleetwood equalised through Reece Bennett in the 91st minute of that one, ultimately carrying it to penalties. Both sides missed their first penalties. Actually, Fleetwood missed their first 3 penalties. In total, there were a total missed penalties tally of 6 penalties missed between the two sides, ultimately Stoke winning by 2 penalties to 1 in the shootout, a very low scoring shootout. Of course, in the end there, we head to Blackpool then after that was also played last week, and only one goal to separate the two sides, Blackpool and Sheffield Wednesday. Last week, Deshaun Bernard with a goal in the first half, sending Sheffield Wednesday through to the fourth round, knocking out Blackpool in that one. Also, Premier League side Brentford had a home tie against League 2 Leyton Orient. They actually went behind in that one, Brentford. Leyton Orient took the lead through Brandon Cooper in the first half. Fabio Carvalho and Mikkel Damsgaard then got Brentford ahead in a matter of minutes before Christian Norgard, just before half-time, made it 3-1 to Brentford, Jack Simpson got a second yellow for an off-the-ball foul for Leyton Orient, which brought them down to 10, but it was too little too late. It didn't really matter what happened at that point because Brentford were already winning. It was Brentford 3, Leyton Orient 1. That was the final score there. An old Premier League tie between Everton and Southampton as well. That also went to penalties. Ultimately at Goodison, it was Everton that took the lead once again. Everton are yet to pick up anything more than a point, or yet to win a game this season when taking the lead, other than the Doncaster game, which they won in the second round of the Carabao Cup. They've taken the lead in that one against Southampton last week. Abdoulaye Doucouré's goal giving them the lead before Taylor Harwood-Bellis got Southampton back on terms just before half-time. No goals in the second half as we carried it to penalties. Both sides scored their first 5 penalties of the game, brought it to sudden death. James Bree scored Southampton's penalty for 6-5 before Ashley Young had his penalty saved, which knocked Everton out of the cup and sent Southampton through on penalties. A big shock for a Premier League side, another Premier League side, as Preston beat Fulham last week. Ultimately, the longest penalty shootout in Carabao Cup history. 31 penalties in the shootout in this one. It was a goal apiece either side of the half for both sides. Rand Lidson gave Preston the lead before Reece Nelson equalised for Fulham in the second half. It was then a ding-dong battle in the shootout. Both sides scoring their first 8 penalties apiece before they both missed their next penalties. Obviously sudden death at that point. Ultimately, that carried all the way through until Timothy Castagna missed for Fulham Fulham's 16th penalty of the shootout before Ryan Ledson, who scored the Preston opener, scored the 16th Preston penalty to send them through. 16-15 on penalties. That was the end of the shootouts last week. Ultimately in a London derby, QPR against Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace progressed. Eddie Nketiah, the new signing, scored the opener for Palace. Sam Field then equalised for QPR before the winner came in the 64th minute by Abere Eze to send Palace through. It was a comfortable victory for Manchester United against Barnsley. Marcus Rashford opened the scoring. Anthony with a penalty made it 2. 2 Alejandro Garnacho goals either side of the half made it 3 and then 4 for United. Rashford got his second of the game to make it 5, and then Christian Eriksen got a brace of his own for 6 and then 7 to carry United through to the 4th round. It was a much tighter affair in that old Premier League tie between Brighton and Wolves at the Amex Stadium. Ultimately, in that one, Brighton cruised into a 2-goal lead. Carlos Baleba and Simon Adingra with the 2 goals inside 30 minutes to give them the lead. Gonzalo Guedes then got one back for Wolves before Ferdi Kaliolu gave Brighton their 2-goal advantage again, 5 minutes from time before the 91st minute goal, ultimately consolation goal from Tommy Doyle, made it 3-2. And then, of course, the final game of last week, Tottenham beating Coventry by 2-1. Coventry have got to the FA Cup semi-finals last season, but they're knocked out of the Carabao Cup early on this season. Brandon Thomas-Asante, though, gave Coventry the lead with around about 27 minutes to go in the game. And just as soon as it looked like Coventry were heading through, Jed Spence stepped up to equalise for Tottenham 2 minutes from time before in the 93rd minute Brennan Johnson scored the winner for Spurs to send them through to the 4th round. That was last week's results. Already this week, as mentioned, FC Wimbledon Newcastle meant to play on Tuesday night. That was postponed due to bad weather conditions, of course, very bad weather conditions, and a real awful situation with the Wimbledon pitch, of which Newcastle have subsequently donated £15,000 to helping fix that problem with FC Wimbledon, which is nice to see. But the game has been rescheduled and will be played next Tuesday night at St James's Park. Although with the games that went ahead, let's see what these results are then. Chelsea cruised their way past Barrow at Stamford Bridge last night. Christopher Nkunku got 2 before Paul Farman, his own goal, made it 3 for Chelsea. Pedro Neto and Christopher Nkunku to complete the hat-trick made it 5 to secure Chelsea's place in the next round. It was a closer affair between Manchester City, the champions of the Premier League, and Championship, Watford. In the end, Manchester City took a 2-goal lead. Jeremy Doku and Mateus Nunes with the goals in the first half. It was Manchester City dominating for the full probably 85 minutes, but in the 86th minute, Thomas Ince got one back. Of course, Paul Ince's son, I believe. Thomas Ince gets one back, but it wasn't to be enough for Watford in the end. A consolation, ultimately, seeing Watford knocked out of the competition. It was even closer between Walsall and Leicester, as that one went to penalties. Ultimately, not a close affair in penalties, but a 0-0 game in the 90 minutes. Then went to penalties. Both sides took 3 penalties each. Leicester scored all their 3. And Walsall missed all 3 of their penalties, all 3 saved by the Leicester goalkeeper on the night, obviously Danny Ward. And ultimately, Leicester headed through. Again, another close game between Wycombe and Aston Villa. Aston Villa took the lead in the second half. Emi Buendia with the opener. John Duran with a penalty with 5 minutes to go made it 2-0 before Richard Kone got one back for Wycombe late in the game, but the game was dead and buried by that point, and Aston Villa booked their place in the 4th round. And that is where they stand at the moment. That is where that has concluded for this week so far. So let's have a look quickly at the ball numbers before I update you what's happening at the Emirates for tonight's draw. Aston Villa are number 1, Brentford are number 2, Brighton are number 3, Chelsea are 4, Crystal Palace are 5, Leicester are 6, Manchester City are 7, Manchester United are 8, Preston are 9, 10 is Sheffield Wednesday, Southampton is 11, Stoke are 12, Tottenham are 13, Arsenal or Bolton are 14, Liverpool or West Ham are 15, and Wimbledon or Newcastle are ball number 16. So those are our ball numbers for tonight's draw. The 4th round draw gets underway a bit later on this evening after the conclusion of the game at Anfield between Liverpool and West Ham. In that one, no matter what the result there, of course, it will be done after the full time whistle, whether that be after 90 minutes or after a possible penalty shootout, which we're heading for as it stands at 1-1. We will, of course, let you know. And the full draw, all the results of the 4th round draw will be released upon LFS socials and on our YouTube community page shortly after the draw is completed. Of course, we will have shorts up as soon as the draw is complete. Go to our YouTube shorts section of our channel and you will have that plus on the community page, whichever you prefer, but they'll both be up on all of our socials as well. Right, the second half between Liverpool and West Ham to see who will be heading through to the 4th round is on the way in just a moment. Don't forget as well, lots more to come on LFS this week, but we'll talk about that a bit later on. Currently at the London Stadium, I keep saying that, at the Emirates Stadium in London, it is Arsenal 3, Bolton 1, 2 goals since we last talked to you. Ethan Nwaneri, who scored his first Arsenal goal tonight, he scored his second, which got Arsenal's third. And then Bolton have got one back. Aaron Collins on the counter-attack, beating the 16-year-old Arsenal goalkeeper. It is Arsenal who lead by 3-1. Second half at Anfield, on the way next. Welcome back to Carabao Cup live on LFS. Second half at Anfield in our final 3rd round tie of the week is coming up in just a moment. Don't forget, as I said, the 4th round draw a bit later on this evening. We will have the full results of that later on socials. To come this week on LFS, we have Premier League for you, a double header on Sunday. for you as Ipswich take on Aston Villa, 2 o'clock on Sunday, before a big one at 4:30 at Old Trafford as Manchester United take on Tottenham at 4:30 on Sunday. So 2 big games on Sunday for you to look forward to on LFS. Right, the second half about to get underway at Anfield, so let's head back as the players get ready to get underway. Liverpool, of course, kicking towards the Kop end at the second half. Let's see what they can deliver. Can they go through, or can West Ham cause a shock at Anfield? Let's see. At the moment, they were on course for that in the first half at 1 point. Liverpool got their equaliser a few minutes after West Ham had taken the lead, but at the moment, still in the balance. 1-1 at the moment as we get back underway for the second half. And I have to say, from that first half, Liverpool were disappointed how they conceded, but overall, in the balance of things, I think Liverpool were the better side. I think they were controlling the ball. I think they were kind of dominating possession. But I think the problem for Liverpool wasn't enough output in the first half. As we saw, as I mentioned, only 1 shot on target in the first half that ultimately was their equaliser. That was more of a kind of a flick tap-in rather than a good effort, ultimately. Both goals weren't defended pretty well, ultimately. So neither side have really got out of their opening gear so far, and I think we need to see that a bit more in the second half. We haven't really seen the true qualities of these two sides just yet, which I expect to see more in the second half. But look, so far it's set us up for a good cup tie. Here's Jota, spins it out for the space for Gakpo on the left. Gakpo to deliver it back in, a bit just ahead of Jota, and headed behind for a Liverpool corner by Max Kilman. And Chiesa was the threat as well back there. Great ball by Jota, spotting Gakpo in lots of space. Gakpo just tries to chip it back into the box, just over the head of Jota, and just too far away from Chiesa to try and get anything on it. It goes behind for the Liverpool corner. Tsimikas again to take. For the delivery, flicked on at the near post, cleared away. Jones will shoot from the edge of the box, but fires it over the bar. Of course, Curtis Jones scored Liverpool's second goal against West Ham here last season. A lot more composure on that finish than on the finish we've just seen. Still 1-1. We did see a couple of Liverpool stars warming up at half-time. The likes of Luis Diaz and Mo Salah were warming up, albeit maybe they're just trying to actually warm themselves up, as it has been a wet, cold day at Anfield, a wet, cold day in Merseyside. As West Ham try and break away, and they won a penalty in the box. Felt there was a handball in there, but nothing that I could see. Here's Bowen. I think even the coaching staff were adamant, but from the angle that I saw, it didn't look anything like handball to me, as Jones picks it back up for Liverpool now. Tsimikas, Curtis Jones, now to Gomez, back to Tsimikas again, and charged down by Bowen, but Liverpool will get the throw. To see this again, Somerville steps in field, gets past Bradley, squares it across, and Soler does kind of lift it up towards Joe Gomez, but his arm's right down by his side. I don't think there's much really that Joe Gomez could do about that situation. I think that's handball. I think that's a fair decision, no penalty. No doubt, if West Ham going to lose this game, no doubt that their manager will speak about it at full time, but for me it's a non-event really. It's not a penalty. Certainly not a handball. Here's Curtis Jones, who strides away down the left-hand side for the midfield. Now here's Gakpo. Back in field to Jones. Bit of space here. Rolls it through for Jota. 2-1. Liverpool turn it around. And Diogo Jota with both goals turns this game on its head. And with a few minutes of the second half gone, Liverpool lead for the first time tonight at Anfield. Liverpool 2. West Ham United 1. And Diogo Jota had only scored 1 goal for Liverpool this season before tonight. He has scored 2 on the night for Liverpool. It's a good breakaway. It's fabulous control from Curtis Jones in the Liverpool midfield. It's absolutely sensational work. Breaks away from his man, plays it down the flank to Gakpo, who just steps in, fails, plays it to back to Curtis Jones, who just rolls it in behind. It is fabulous composure to Jota on his right foot, and there's only one way that moment is going to end, and that is with a Liverpool goal. Liverpool 2, West Ham United 1. He is nicknamed the Slaughter, and that is a slaughter goal. And the massive asset to Liverpool this season will be Diogo Jota. Has scored a number of goals against West Ham. Actually scored one of his first goals, if not his first Liverpool goal, against West Ham a few years ago. In a 2-1 win against West Ham back in October 2020 when he was first signed. Got his first goal to win the game for Liverpool in the 85th minute of that game back in 2020. It was early in the Premier League season. We have another goal from the Emirates to tell you. Arsenal pegged back by a Bolton goal in the second half, but it looks to be no question as to where and who is going through. It is Arsenal 4, Bolton Wanderers 1 at the Emirates. And it's Raheem Sterling, this first for the Gunners, to give them a 4-1 lead. I have to say, will this mean even more to West Ham? That penalty that wasn't given. Now that they're behind, now that they're losing, now that Liverpool have just recently scored after that situation, albeit I would still stick to the point. You look at the replays, there's no question it's not handball. You know, but of course no VAR tonight, so there's no kind of second guessing the referee. If the referee's decision will stand no matter what happens, and looking at it again, I can see the replay more than about 1,000 times. It will be the same outcome in my opinion all the time. That is not a penalty. Albeit, Julian Lopetegui completely saying the opposite to the fourth official, making his views known, but I think if he sees a replay, unless he wants to be completely kind of blindsided by his West Ham, obviously, allegiances at this moment, I think even he would say that it's not handball. Here's Jones. Lovely skill again. Feeds it out to Tsimikas. Now Gakpo linking up with Tsimikas. Tsimikas with a chip ball across. All the way through it goes. And I think Jota might have got something to that one in the end. And ultimately goes behind for a goal kick. But again, it was Curtis Jones running the show down that midfield, getting Liverpool up the field, getting them forward, and kind of involving the attackers in the game, kind of linking up the defence to attack for Liverpool. And he did it so beautifully in the lead up to the goal for Liverpool, but in that moment there, just gone past, also striding forward with pure pace and skill. And I think Curtis Jones at times is a player for Liverpool that goes under the radar. You know, a massive amount of quality, a local boy, a local Liverpool fan, and kind of burst onto the scene in a cup competition back in 2020 when he absolutely rocketed one into the top right corner against Everton here in the FA Cup third round. And that was a fabulous result, a fabulous goal for Curtis Jones. And since then, even under Jurgen Klopp, he was massively kind of favoured, massively kind of talked highly about, but hasn't really got that massive run in the Liverpool team in terms of the Liverpool midfield as of recently, or at least under the new manager. Hasn't really seen much game play or game time so far, but mainly because the Liverpool midfield has been playing so well so far in the Premier League. There was no real need to change it, but of course did have a bit of an injury early in the season, Jones, but from what we're seeing so far in this second half, does not look to be suffering at all from any sort of injury at this moment, as Liverpool break away from West Ham. Jota looking to find the runners in Nunez and Chiesa. Nunez with a chest brings it down on the right hand side. Darwin Nunez arriving back into the box. Nunez across, trying to find Chiesa, but Kilman there to clear it away. Liverpool certainly looking much more threatening now in this second half, causing West Ham more and more problems. I think it's more likely to be 3-1 to Liverpool than 2-2 in this game at this point. Exactly what I'm sure Arne Slot, the Liverpool head coach, is wanting at this moment in time. As Fabianski spreads it out to Sofal. Takes a touch infield. Tsimikas committed himself. Endo's also done so, as Gomez picks up the ball and Jota tried to flick it through for Nunez, but just misplaced the pass. Again, I have to say, whenever Liverpool try and attack, they're attacking with kind of lots and lots of pace. But here come West Ham with Bowen. Bowen down the right hand side, gets it past Gomez, and Liverpool throwing bodies to clear the ball away. As now Sofal will deliver again. Somerville was in there, still not away. Somerville, edge of the box, strikes it, but blocked, charged down by Liverpool. Game's come very open all of a sudden. Certainly Jared Bowen's been West Ham's main outlet, of course. Has the captain's armband this evening, does Jared Bowen, for the Hammers. I have to say, Liverpool got caught out there down that left hand side. I think Tsimikas was far too infield and didn't really spot the danger from the wide area in Bowen. Ultimately, Liverpool couldn't recover really from that position. Ultimately didn't end up paying the price of conceding. West Ham couldn't make the most of it in the end, as Liverpool get a bit muddled in the middle. Luckily, from a Liverpool point of view, West Ham mess up their pass, and Tsimikas ultimately getting Liverpool the throw. Well, it looks like Mo Salah, who started all of Liverpool's games so far this season, is going to be coming on from the bench. I would guess that will be Chiesa that will be leaving the field, of course. Chiesa has his position, but also Federico Chiesa only made a kind of few minutes of a debut at the weekend and has now played almost an hour of football, so I'd say that's a pre-planned substitution more than anything, as West Ham already are also going to make a substitution in Lucas Paquetá, who's going to be coming on very shortly. Bradley. Gomez. Looking for Gakpo. On the spin is Gakpo, but should have kept an eye down the line, as he's just offside there, Cody Gakpo. So the free kick to West Ham, and now substitutions incoming then. Mo Salah is coming on, and he's going to be replacing Diogo Jota. Actually, Jota, who at this moment would be has scored both goals to see Liverpool through. It's actually not Jota coming off. It showed an angle of Jota there. It is Chiesa coming off. I knew it was. So Chiesa off for Salah. I think Liverpool are making another substitution in a moment. They are indeed. Alexis McAllister is going to be coming on for Liverpool, and that will be Diogo Jota. So Jota, as I said, who scored both Liverpool goals tonight, who could be single-handedly carrying them through to the fourth round. He's going to be replaced by Alexis McAllister. So Jota and Chiesa off, and McAllister and Salah on. So West Ham, as I said, are going to make subs of their own. Paquetá and Antonio are coming on. Thomas Soucek is going to make way, and also making way will be Danny Ings. So Ings and Soucek off, and Antonio and Paquetá on for West Ham. So both sides making double substitutions around the 60-minute mark. There's both sides back in action in the Premier League at the weekend. Both play on Saturday, so clearly wanting to keep their sides fully fit for that one. Liverpool have a trip to Wolves on Saturday evening. West Ham have a trip again in London, as the ball in straight into the hands of Kelleher in the Liverpool goal. Yeah, just see it again. Good cut in field by Sofal, and the ball swung right into the box, but Kelleher had anticipated it well. As I said, West Ham head to Brentford at the weekends on Saturday at 3 o'clock. As I said, Liverpool away to Wolves in the Premier League on Saturday evening, 5:30. So both sides on the road in the league. Liverpool back in action in midweek next week, of course. Host their first Champions League game at Anfield here next Wednesday night, taking on Bologna of Italy. Two Italian sides. They already beat AC Milan in match day 1 of the Champions League to Liverpool. And they have Bologna coming to Anfield next Wednesday night. Here's Kwanzaa. Less than 30 minutes to go. Liverpool 2, West Ham 1 at Anfield. Arsenal 4-1 up against Bolton. Around about 15 minutes or so to go in that one at the Emirates. Bradley. Kwanzaa. To Gomez. Now Tsimikas into McAllister. Around the corner to Gakpo. Back to McAllister. Now feeds it through for Curtis Jones, who tried to roll it past Fabianski. But Fabianski got a strong left hand to that one. That would have been a wonderful goal from Liverpool's point of view. Really good move, as Antonio was absolutely trailed to the floor there by Jarell Kwanzaa. No question of a yellow card there. So a booking for the Liverpool centre-back. And West Ham get the free kick, of course. Up on the right-hand side. It's not as high as it could be, but it is in the Liverpool half. Liverpool have their defensive line just ahead of the edge of the D, so very high. Cresswell to take this free kick. Left-footed, fizzed across the box. Flicked on. And I think the flag went up there against Kilman. Ultimately. Just see this Curtis Jones moment again. Really good football. Down the left-hand side from Liverpool, and McAllister rolls it through. And Jones just tries to stretch for it as it breaks away from him. He's been just held back slightly by Kilman. Not much for a penalty, but ultimately a really good move. Here's Bradley linking up with Salah. Conor Bradley looking to switch it. Just a bit too close to Sofal that time, and Gakpo battles back. Ultimately Gakpo winning the throw-in for Liverpool. Sofal wanted a free kick, but the referee moved in that moment. Played on. Gomez to Kwanzaa. Bradley back to Jarell Kwanzaa. To Joe Gomez. In the midfield. Lovely touch by Jones. Breaks it away, and now Curtis Jones went to grind. The referee says no foul. As again Tsimikas battling back. Gone on a bit of a muddle. And now the shot is parried by Kelleher and guided out for the corner, but I think Kostas Tsimikas got a bit confused there as he was tracking back. He got there and then no one kind of followed it up. Joe Gomez ran away from the ball. Tsimikas thought that his teammate was getting it. Lack of communication there, and stepping in, having the shot there was Soler, and the corner ends up having to be made as Keller had to parry it away. So a corner, Cresswell to deliver. 25 minutes to go at Anfield. Liverpool 2-1 up. Cresswell to deliver this one again. Attacking that area where the West Ham fans sit as the cross goes all the way through. But Antonio will keep it alive on the left flank. Gets it through the lines. Finding Somerville. Battling with Salah. Got a block. Back to Antonio. Big save. Now Kilman oversteps his mark and somehow Liverpool deny him. Incredible goalkeeping by Kelleher in the end, but Kilman had an almost open goal in front of him. Beautiful from Antonio. Finds Somerville. The ball bouncing around the box. Antonio strikes saved by Kelleher. It bounds back out to Kilman, and ultimately Max Kilman bundles it. Absolutely loses his possession of the ball, and Tsimikas diving towards it, but Kelleher ultimately getting the crucial touch and ultimately comes off Kilman again for the goal kick. It's nice. Tsimikas is going to get a free kick here for Liverpool. I have to say, those substitutions have completely sent this game into chaos. As Edson Alvarez goes sliding in. No, that's dangerous, that. Gets a yellow card, does Alvarez. Studs were up there. Maybe got a bit lucky. Yellow card for the West Ham midfielder. Another goal at the Emirates to tell you about. Arsenal extending their lead once again. It's 5-1 to Arsenal in that one. As Bradley was battled there. Goal kick to West Ham. Thought he was getting a corner out of that one, Conor Bradley, but not to be. Kai Havertz has scored Arsenal's 5th this evening from a rebound. And just rolls it in. It's a nice goal by Havertz. It's been an easy night in the end for Arsenal. Not so easy nights for Manchester United in the Europa League against the Dutch side Twente. We'll get there in a moment, because here's Somerville for West Ham. Flicks it forward. Cresswell across. Too high as Gakpo tries to clear. Still not away. Still in the boxes. Kwanzaa heads clear. Sofal picks it up again. Liverpool struggling to get it away at the moment as Paquetá spins round the corner. Sofal looking for the cutback. Tsimikas blocks it. He said it was chest. The referee has given a corner, I believe. He has, and I think the referee waves away any sort of belief. As I think Julian Lopetegui has gone absolutely ballistic on the sidelines. West Ham have probably had three penalty claims in this second half, but Andy Madley goes over to now tell the referee, or to tell the West Ham head coach to calm himself down, and gives him a yellow card for his troubles there. Does Julian Lopetegui. Again, it's not handball. See the replay of it again against Tsimikas. It comes off his chest. There is no question about that. Once again. For me, it's no penalty. Again, I can poorly see from Julian Lopetegui's angle, but when you see the replays, there's no question it's not a penalty. Corner for West Ham, though. They've certainly got very easily back into this game after Liverpool taking the lead. They're in a good spell with just over 20 minutes to go. Still very much within their grasp as the corner whipped in. Looping. This goes up in the air from the header. And the follow-up is flying over the bar by Carlos Soler. Goal kick. Good opportunity. As I was saying, Manchester United haven't had it all their own way in the Europa League against Twente at Old Trafford this evening, because Twente have now equalised. It is Manchester United 1, Twente 1. Sam Lammers with the goal for the Dutch side with around about 20 minutes to go. It is 1-1 at Old Trafford. It's all about Liverpool just getting through this tough spell at the moment. Not often you would think you would hear that at Anfield, but West Ham have certainly been a tough customer at times for Liverpool this evening. I think they've certainly come out the better in the last 10-15 minutes since Liverpool scored that second goal. And Hendo does well to adjust under the challenge. Salah looks to spin it out to Gakpo. Takes it down. He's got Darwin Núñez looming. Gakpo crosses it, blocked. Tsimikas goes in for one, but couldn't find Salah as Paquetá tries to break out, and Endo got involved, but I think Salah committed the foul in the end, and West Ham get the free kick. Although Endo, the Liverpool midfielder's still down. Yeah, I think Salah a bit too desperate on that occasion to win the ball back. Endo does really well in the challenge, but Salah just pushes Paquetá over. And West Ham get a little bit of a cheap free kick, shall we say. But a free kick nonetheless. Well, we compare the first half to the second half. Liverpool have had slightly less of the possession in the second half, and West Ham have had more shots. But in comparison, West Ham haven't had a big chance compared to Liverpool's two big chances in the second half. So, albeit Liverpool slightly less possession, slightly less shots, but certainly when they get into those areas, Liverpool, they are looking more threatening than West Ham are. As Endo is back to his feet after getting a bit of treatment. As I mentioned, don't forget the fourth round draw is going to take place shortly after this game concludes, around about 10:15 approximately, and all the details of the draw will be released as soon as they are completed on all of the LFS socials, so do stay tuned for that. Kilman to Alvarez, back to Kilman, through the spaces, finds Paquetá, now out wide it goes to Somerville, back to Lucas Paquetá, looking to lift it forward for West Ham as Bowen makes a nuisance of himself in the box, but the ball does go bouncing out for a Liverpool goal kick. It's Jared Bowen incredibly incessantly arguing with the referee, but let's just say it again. Bowen trying to get on the end of that ball. There was no touch there. Goal kick. Yeah. Tsimikas for Liverpool to Endo. Now to Jones. Kwanzaa out wide to Salah. Salah through the lines. Bradley continued his run. Bradley the cutback off the line. Salah 3-1. Mo Salah there to make it 3. And a Liverpool under a difficult spell in the last few minutes. West Ham were desperately pushing for an equaliser, but it is Liverpool that find a third and give themselves a 2-goal cushion at Anfield. Fabianski saved the first shot, but Salah on the follow-up scored the rebounds. Liverpool 3, West Ham United 1, and a bit of a sigh of relief is felt around Anfield after a nervous last few moments. Bradley's well onside. Fabulous ball by Salah. Bradley, wonderful to continue his run. And as he cuts it back to McAllister, who has the shot, saved by Fabianski. Salah's there, ready to finish, ready to pounce, as the best forwards are. And Mo Salah adds another to his tally. Makes it 3-1 to Liverpool. And now Liverpool with a bit of a sigh of relief, as I said, because I think Anfield had got a bit tense after West Ham were pushing and probing. I think Julian Lopetegui, like a little spoilt child, is now throwing his toys out of the pram at the moment on the sidelines. He's rather sarcastically giving the thumbs up to the fourth official, I believe. Which, I mean, is a bit naive. It's a bit childish, really. Well, here's Antonio. The game's not done yet, though. 15 minutes to go. West Ham have looked more threatening as Antonio's come on the pitch and he crosses it for Cresswell, who forces a save off Kelleher, and Kwanzaa to clear it away. Now Salah spins away for Liverpool. Breaks past his man, Mo Salah, still going. He's got two in front of him, tries to pass it through, gets upended, and is going to get the Liverpool free kick. And Edson Alvarez is going to walk here. Second yellow card. And it's gone from bad to worse for West Ham United. They're now down to 10. Edson Alvarez with a second yellow card. Can't really have any complaints. And he sees red. And he is now off the pitch. Yeah, there's no question. He goes flying in on Salah. He knows what's going to happen if he doesn't get the ball. He gets nowhere near the ball. And he completely takes out the man. It's a cynical challenge. And the referee has no choice but to send him into the dressing room and show him a second yellow. So down to 10 now, West Ham. And now 3-1 down. This looks even more bleak for the Hammers in these last few minutes. By the way, I did miss a yellow card a bit earlier in the game. Lucas Paquetá got a booking for arguing with the referee. Here's Gakpo. Nice Simicast trying to squeeze it to cut it back, but West Ham get bodies back to clear it away. As Liverpool were threatening, Gomez stepping forward, but Antonio gets shoved down by his own man there. And ultimately, Paquetá gets the throw in. So they're going to make a substitution here, West Ham. Solare's going to come off. And coming on is Andy Irving. Come on at the weekend in the Chelsea game. And Jared Bowen is also going to make way for the Hammers. And Mohamed Kudus is going to take his place. So a double substitution for West Ham with just over 12 minutes to go. 3-1 down and down to 10 men at Anfield. Looks like there's only going to be one result coming here, albeit time to go. They're in the added time at the Emirates, by the way. It is Arsenal 5, Bolton 1. So that result should be confirmed any moment now. Of course, as I mentioned, fourth round draw following this game very shortly after, and we will have full details of it. Who will play who? We'll find out in around less than an hour's time, around 45 minutes time, hopefully. That will be. As Liverpool themselves are going to make another change very shortly. Tyler Morton is ready and waiting on the sidelines, the young midfielder. And there's another change as well, another player readying himself. So Liverpool eyeing up some more changes very shortly. Here's Gomez. Gakpo to Kwanzaa. Now into Endo on the turn. Plays it quite fiercely into McAllister's path, who will hit one! And it's on the post, and the follow-up is saved by Fabianski from Gakpo. again, fabulous from McAllister again. He had his first effort saved, and then that one tipped onto the post. Incredible strike by McAllister. The space opened up in front of him, and he just decided to hit it. Beautiful right hand by Fabianski. Wonderful save onto the post, and then the rebound from Gakpo straight into the legs of Fabianski, who saved again. I have to say, Lucas Fabianski has saved West Ham multiple times tonight. It could be much further of a lead for Liverpool in this second half with the chances they've had. Saved the Curtis Jones chance. He's now saved 2 of Alexis McAllister's chances. Gakpo's had one saved as well. There's been multiple opportunities where Liverpool probably should have scored, but Lucas Fabianski, the West Ham keeper, has denied them. Certainly has kept this score down to respectable, shall we say. Salah wins the ball back off Cresswell in the middle. Endo back to Gomez. 10 minutes to go at Anfield. Liverpool 3, West Ham 1. West Ham down to 10 after Edson Alvarez got a second yellow card as Bradley tried to step past Somerville. Gets the ball stolen away from him. Now Antonio back to Somerville, who hits it wide. It's almost identical to the goal he scored for Leeds here a few seasons ago to win that game against Liverpool, but I think in the end Conor Bradley just got a bit too eager to get the ball forward and ultimately almost paid the price for that situation in the end. Dealing with it as Liverpool do make a double change. It will be Andy Robertson and Tyler Morton coming on. So Wataru Endo is going to leave the field and Kostas Tsimikas will be joining him. So Tsimikas and Endo off, and Tyler Morton and Andy Robertson on for Liverpool. Of course, Tyler Morton will be one of the names that isn't commonly on the Liverpool team sheet, but the 21-year-old, of course, was on loan last season at Hull. Previously, the previous season on loan at Blackburn, of course. Actually, came from Blackburn to Liverpool a number of years ago, but has been majorly in the under-21s for Liverpool so far this season, and gets his first senior foray of football this season, but has played in the cup competitions previously for Liverpool as Tyler Morton over the last number of years. More previously under Jurgen Klopp, of course. Gomez to Robertson. Full time at the Emirates. It's finished Arsenal 5, Bolton 1. So Arsenal become the 11th Premier League side out of the 14 now sides through to the next round. That's a loose challenge by Morton. Gives away the free kick to Irving. I have to say, Julian Lopetegui, every time the camera cuts to him, I don't think he's particularly the fittest on the sidelines, because he was kind of holding his kind of shin area, his calf shin, which is quite interesting. Which certainly shows that he's certainly not a fit young man anymore, is Julian Lopetegui. The West Ham head coach, 57 now. It's Lopetegui. You have to add a bit of comedy and a bit of flair to these games, especially this late in the game. As Fabianski goes long, brought down by Sofal. As Kudus spins back to Paqueta. Out wide it goes to Sofal again. Infield to Kudus for West Ham. Now breaks to Paqueta. Kudus again as Mo Salah tracks back and wins the challenge. Gives it back to his goalkeeper. Kwanzaa plays it through to McAllister. Robertson now links up with Gakpo. Robertson on the overlap. Gakpo breaks through himself, gets into the box. Gakpo! Big save by Fabianski. Again denying the Liverpool team another goal. Really good goalkeeping from Fabianski all night, I have to say. He's been West Ham's best player this evening, especially in this second half alone. Has done wonders. It's a great run by Gakpo. Gets the ball off Robertson, drives in field. Kudish probably should do better on the cover. Lets Gakpo speed past him and then has the shot. Well saved by the West Ham keeper. The pace on the shot, had to see Fabianski parry it rather than actually catching the ball. It was a vastly venomous strike by Gakpo. Gomez gives away a free kick there. 4.5 minutes of normal time to go. Around about the same. 4.5 minutes of normal time to go at Old Trafford between Manchester United and Twente in the Europa League. It is the hosts that, of course, are on the ball at the moment and are pushing for that winner, but at the moment it is still 1-1. Here's Antonio breaking into the box for West Ham again, but charged down and ultimately into the hands of the Liverpool goalkeeper, Caoimhín Kelleher. Yeah, Bradley got beaten past again by Antonio, and then just Antonio, I have to say, has added chaos to this game. Like, Liverpool ultimately have looked a bit more vulnerable since Antonio has come onto the field, but ultimately, rather than a simple game, he's added a little bit of flavour to it. As Gakpo feeds in behind, does well on the cover. Does Nunez, back to Gakpo and Salah, both missing an empty net. Goodness me. Liverpool were ever so close to getting a fourth. As they well won it back again there, Liverpool. Here's Jones. Out to the left for Gakpo. Liverpool desperate for a fourth. You can feel it. Every time they get the ball, they're wanting to break forward. They're wanting to add another to the tally. You can certainly see it. And they feel they certainly can. Robertson in field to McAllister. Now Bradley. Out to Salah. Bradley continues his run again. Salah, though, will switch the ball out to the left. Brought down by Gakpo. Now back to Robertson, who will cross it. Robertson's cross is flicked away at the back post by Somerville. Out for the Liverpool corner. I have to say, Mo Salah has added a bit of a dynamic to him, as Nunez did really well against the Debo. Held him off. The cut back. Goodness me, what a good opportunity. As Robertson applauding the cop as he comes over to take this Liverpool corner. 2 minutes of normal time to go. Still 3-1. Robertson's cross all the way through for Curtis Jones, who hits it over the bar. I think he's desperate for a goal tonight, Jones. You can see it. And I've just read his lips, and I will not repeat what he's just said, but you can probably tell the frustration of Curtis Jones. And Arne Slot looks to be winning his first game for Liverpool in 3 different competitions, of course. Won his first Premier League game, won his first Champions League game, and is now on looking down the barrel of his first win in the League Cup, or Carabao Cup, which they don't have in the Netherlands, which he duly made a note of in his pre-match presser this week. Spoke about how they don't have the extra competition in the Netherlands. They have a cup competition, but they don't have 2. Very rarely, not many countries have 2 cup competitions. France do, I know that much. The Coupe de France and then the Coupe de la Ligue. in France. Gakpo cuts it back to Nunez, back to Gakpo. Gakpo to strike one and finds the net. Lovely from Gakpo. He's been denied a multitude of times by Lukasz Fabianski, but he was not going to leave this pitch tonight without getting a goal. And Cody Gakpo has found the net. Beautiful 1-2 link up with Nunez, and Cody Gakpo, as he did here last season, finds the net by striking into that bottom left corner and adds a fourth to Liverpool's tally to this evening. Yeah, squeezes it in. It's a beautiful strike, arrowing into that bottom corner. And Liverpool do find a fourth. So we will have 5 added minutes at the end of the game then, here at Anfield, and now certainly no question as to where the points are going. Points? Where the victory is going. I'm so much in league mode that I didn't even calculate that. This is the only competition, along with the FA Cup, that there is no points, obviously, with the Champions League, obviously. Nonetheless, there is no question as to where, if there were points to be on offer, there would be no question as to where they're going. Liverpool will be heading through. West Ham will be heading out. Albeit a strike there from distance from Randy Irving, sorry, had him wondering if he could get a West Ham consolation, but ultimately hit wide. Liverpool crowd singing along to what they've seen as a delightful performance in the second half, especially from their side. First half, West Ham gave Liverpool more than enough to worry about, really. Despite Liverpool dominating the possession, they failed to create massive amounts of clear-cut opportunities. But this second half, they've certainly made up for it. They probably could have more than the 4 that they already have, Liverpool, and it's been a good performance again tonight. It's Gakpo. Plays it into McAllister's path. Back to Gakpo. Rolls it through for Andy Robertson. Saved. Back with Gakpo again. Switches it out to Salah on the right. Salah. Back across into Gomez's path. Who was told to shoot there by the crowd, but he's about 45 yards out. That's a bit ironic more than anything from the Liverpool crowd. Certainly seeing the humour. Here's Salah. Spins one with the outside of the boot. All the way through. Out to Gakpo on the left. Battling with Kudus. Spins Kudus. Gakpo on the edge has another opportunity. And it's gone in. Once again. He wanted one. He's got 2 on the night, has Cody Gakpo. And Liverpool's flurry of chances have ended up with Liverpool finding even more. And more goals. Liverpool 5. West Ham United 0. Or 1, shall I say. And Cody Gakpo adding his 2nd for the night to find Liverpool's 5th. Wonderful cross from Salah. The ball bounces back towards Gakpo's path. He is hounded by Kudus, spins away from Kudus and has the strike from the edge. And it does take a wobbling deflection as it leaves the foot of Gakpo. Off the West Ham defender. I think it might have took a touch off Nunez on the way through as well, maybe. I think the shot was on target anyway. Bounces past Fabianski and adds another one to Liverpool tonight. Arne Slot looks on with glee. And how quickly the games change. From West Ham at half-time, 1-1, very much in the tie. To now, 45, 50 minutes later, finding themselves 5-1 down and looking to just stave off an embarrassment at Anfield. As the ball swung out to the left-hand side by West Ham, about 30 seconds of the game to go. Here's Somerville. Now out to Antonio. Back into midfield. Pakitani. Out to Antonio again. Excuse me. As Antonio tries to cross it, Tyler Morton will be there and he'll find Bradley. And Bradley will kick it up the field. Brought down by Cresswell. Now Somerville. And it's finished at Old Trafford, 1-1 between Manchester United and Twente. Erik ten Hag against the team from his home country, Colding United at home. Final score here though, the whistle's just gone, and it will be Liverpool, the holders, who have started the defence of their title and the defence of their competition win in this trophy last season. 5-1 winners against West Ham, en route to lifting the trophy in February. They've done it again, but at a much earlier round this time. Final score at Anfield, Liverpool 5, West Ham United 1. Ultimately, it comes, Liverpool went behind in the game. Gerald Kwanzaa's own goal put West Ham in front. Diogo Jota then found the equaliser minutes later, and that was the score at half-time. Jota then got his second of the night to give Liverpool the lead. Minutes into the second half, Salah added a third from a rebounded effort before Cody Gakpo, who, as I said, was determined to leave that pitch without a goal, and he has got 2 on the night for Cody Gakpo. Ultimately, finding the net twice. And as I said, Liverpool won 5-1 against West Ham here last season. You'll be hoping that's a good omen for this season in trying to retain the trophy and make it number 11 for Liverpool. A long way to go since that point. Right, we have 15 of our 16 teams in for the draw, but the draw will be completed very, very shortly. Let's have a quick look at the ball numbers then for that draw before we leave you tonight. Aston Villa are number 1, Brentford are number 2, Brighton are number 3, Chelsea 4, Palace 5, Leicester 6, City and United are 7 and 8. Preston are number 9. 10 is Sheffield Wednesday. Southampton are 11. Stoke are 12. Tottenham are 13. The other side of North London is 14 and Arsenal. Liverpool are 15. And either Wimbledon or Newcastle are 16. Of course, they will find out who the winner of that game is next Tuesday when that game is played at St James's Park. So, it means 12 of our 15 teams in the draw for the fourth round are from the Premier League. Only 3 teams in the draw. It could be 4 if Wimbledon knock out Newcastle, but at least 3 teams in Preston, Sheffield Wednesday and Stoke are the only teams other than that are non-Premier League sides in the round 4 draw. Right, that is it from us tonight. As I mentioned, don't forget the fourth round draw. All the full details of the fourth round draw will be live on LFL socials, and we'll have the full results of those for you on socials shortly after the draw is completed a bit later on this evening. For now, the third round sees the champions and the holders through to the next round. They beat the Hammers by the same scoreline last season. Could this be a good omen for Liverpool to retain their trophy? Night night.